Yellow everyone, and welcome back to this week's video. So for this week, I'm gonna do a doll that's inspired by a video game that I've loved for the past at least 10 years. I was like 8 when I started playing that. I thought I could start an Animal Crossing series, and what better way to start it than with the character that I love the most. So since this time, I really am in love with one character in particular, and her name is Mitzi. So for Mitzi, I'm gonna be using this doll. She's one of the brand new dolls that I've got in the haul from the Gen 3 generation. The only reason I'm really using her is because I don't want to dye a doll. I think it's so hard to do. So I just had one blue doll, so that's gonna be it. I know she doesn't really have the body of Mitzi, but I'm gonna make it work.
So this is Mitzi. From New Island to Wild World, Mitzi has been with me all the way. She's one of the most caring and cute characters to have ever been in my town. It's also broken, but at some point Animal Crossing did some charms and I also got her. Like, I'm really in love with her. So first thing on the agenda to make Mitzi more Mitzi is her gumdrop dress. I debated on the gumdrop and the patchwork dress, but ultimately the gumdrop is just so cute. The best way I know how to do this dress is to do it on some printable paper and iron it on to the fabric. So after doing a quick color test, we can go full on transfer paper. Of course, do it on the good paper and not the instruction. And after making sure everything is in the right position, I can start the print. Unfortunately for me, since I'm still in the moving process, don't ask me where my stuff are, for the love of God. So the only way I thought I could do this was with my brand new flat iron, and I prayed that nothing happened to it, and it didn't, so good for me. After cutting a smaller section and like 10 minutes of trying not to burn my fabric, I got to a point where it was straight enough. I can now cut the sewing pattern and stick it to the fabric. It for sure took a lot of time to make it hot enough for that thing to stick on it, but I made it work. After the transfer is peeled off, I just need to cut it down and leave some seams allowance. I don't need to add as much as usual because the transfer acts like a glue, so it won't fray as much. So off camera, I just went and sewed everything together. But I'm gonna keep the reveal at the end because this thing is so cute, it makes the whole look. So Mitzi is a Siamese cat. That's why she has the blue and the white separation. I thought about 100 ways to make this work, but my favorite, and I think a lot of people too, is to make her with white hair. So let's remove that blue hair and add the right one. But before I mess the white up with the face removal, I'm just gonna take care of that for a second. There you go. And while I'm here, the mold I chose had some extra ears, so let me just remove that and shave off a little bit of the ear. And with that, let's start with the 8 hours it took to reroute this thing. So here she is in her full glory. You can still see the hole, but I think I'll be able to work around it. Now that she is back on her body, let's start with the face paint. For once, I did a coat of Cellan before starting anything. My sketch was so meticulous, I wanted to make it as close to it as I possibly could. I am afraid that if I don't do that, she will slowly stop looking like Mitzi. On her design, her eye shape is not really like that, but my doll is not the most similar doll out there, so I wanted to make her look like she's smiling so much that her cheek is covering part of her eye. I also do not think that Mitzi is the most makeup girl out there, but I also do not think she would have kept her lips bare. Technically, the blue lips is like a nude for us on her. I also debated if I do the eyeliner blue too, but I don't know why. The black just gives me that oomph that I really love. I also added a cute little highlight on her nose. It's so cute. Of course, in the same color. And now, the most stressful part, the pupil. I did a little joke here, but if I mess these up, it could start looking like this. And that's something off of Nightmares, so no thanks. It's making me laugh because just before the pupil, I showed her to my boyfriend and he was like, "She's super scary." Like, dude, she's scary now. Anyway, For the pupil, I started with the dark brown, but I'm going to add some dimensions later with an even darker brown. I'm also making sure to do a full oval like her original design. I also did a lot of back and forth on that, and I knew it wasn't gonna be easy, but in the end, I think I nailed it. The last touch is the eyebrows, and for that, I want them big, round, and expressive. She is happy, so what better way to show it? The last touch and the most anxiety inducive one is this step. At this point, she's cute, she's everything, and I could be done with her, but I really wanted to find a way to add the orange that's in her design. Now, bear with me, I'm gonna try and show you the hairstyle. So in its big picture, I'm just trying to take the two front strands and pulling them as slick as I can behind her head. I then sew her hair in place and voila! Super easy to do if I had 4 hands for sure. After that, a last boil wash and curling her ends with the flat iron, and she's starting to come along. Now I can start on the accessories. And I could have chosen a lot from her character description, but since the new island update, this cutesy will just sit by a tree and start reading her novel. And this is just so cute. I want to recreate that. For her little glasses, I bought these pink glasses 6 months ago in case I needed it for a project, and the project is here. Just need to paint them black. So I did a book off camera, really simple. I did get the feeling that her book is a love story of some sort, so I just called it a love story. I also wanted to add a little bit more white from her design and chose to do some leg warmer. I just get the feeling she would get really cold with this dress on. I don't care if when you're watching this is like 40 degrees outside. For me it's minus 15, so it's cold here. She needs some leg warmers. And I also did this little Lego playset for the final shots. And with that, it's the final details, so let's go to the final shots.